COVID-19 and combating that, and together building an even stronger system so that in the future we can deal with pandemics even more effectively.
Presiden Joko Widodo menerima kunjungan Menteri Luar Negeri Amerika Serikat Antony J. Blinken di Istana Merdeka pekan ini. Keamanan kawasan Indo-Pasifik dan penanganan pandemi COVID-19 jadi bahasan utama sebagai bagian kerjasama strategis antar kedua negara. Saya, Friska Clarissa, akan menggali seluruh menu penting dalam lawatan itu secara khusus bersama Menteri Luar Negeri Amerika Serikat Antony Blinken. Indonesia jadi salah satu negara tujuan Menteri Luar Negeri Amerika Serikat Antony J. Blinken dalam rangkaian lawatan ke Asia Tenggara. Pertemuan dengan RI1 sebagai destinasi pertama yang dituju. Menteri Luar Negeri Amerika Serikat Antony Blinken tiba di Bandara Soekarno-Hatta, Jakarta pada Senin siang dan menuju ke Istana Merdeka untuk bertemu dengan Presiden Joko Widodo sekitar pukul 4:30 sore. Dalam hari itu, saya yang memantau di istana melihat agenda Presiden Jokowi cukup padat. Mulai dari sejumlah rapat internal, rapat pembatasan PPKM, hingga courtesy call atau kunjungan kehormatan dari Menlu Amerika Serikat. Dalam courtesy call, Presiden Jokowi didampingi oleh Menteri Luar Negeri Retno Marsudi dan Menteri Sekretaris Negara Pratikno. Di waktu yang terpisah, Menlu Blinken juga bertemu dengan Menlu Retno Marsudi, Menko Marinvest Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, dan Mendikbudristek Nadiem Makarim. Dalam waktu yang padat, pembahasannya pun tak kalah padat. Saya menanyakan langsung hal ini kepada Menteri Luar Negeri Amerika Serikat Antony Blinken. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for sparing your time to be with us, Kompas TV. I am Friska. Really great to see you.
Thank you. So nice to be with you.
Specifically about your meeting with President Joko Widodo and other senior officials. So how the U.S. sees strategic role that Indonesia could take part of?
Well, first of all, I was really grateful for the time that President Jokowi gave me yesterday when I arrived, and then all of the work that we've done since then with Minister Retno, Minister Luhut, and other colleagues and friends. And I think we talked about the issues that are having an impact on the lives of people in both of our countries, and the work that we can do together on them. COVID-19 and combating that, and together building an even stronger system so that in the future we can deal with pandemics even more effectively. Climate and dealing together with the challenge that it presents, but also the opportunity to create good new jobs with green technology. And infrastructure and investment and the economic ties between our countries, which we think can and should grow even stronger. So we talked about all of that, and what we call the digital economy. So much of our economy now is shaped by the digital world, and making sure that people in both of our countries have the skills that they need to really do well in that economy. Okay. Regionally, where Indonesia plays such an important role, including in ASEAN, and even globally, where taking on the leadership of the G20, the 20 largest economies in the world, Indonesia is going to be playing a very, very important role next year.
Membangun ketahanan kesehatan dalam kondisi pandemi juga diharapkan jadi buah kerjasama strategis kedua negara. Soal distribusi vaksinasi COVID-19 salah satunya. Berdasarkan data Kementerian Luar Negeri Republik Indonesia, selama periode Juli hingga November 2021, Indonesia telah menerima 16.144.000 dosis vaksin dukungan pemerintah Amerika Serikat via COVAX Facilities. Pemerintah Indonesia juga telah menerima 3,5 juta dosis vaksin Moderna 5 Desember lalu, serta total 3,5 juta vaksin AstraZeneca dan Pfizer pekan lalu. Talking about pandemic, as far as we know that the U.S. has been very supportive and committed in providing over 44.7 million doses of vaccines to Indonesia via COVAX and bilaterally. However, the inequity of supply remains not only in Indonesia but other countries too. So, is there any extra thing that U.S. will act to help in bridging the deficit?
Yes, you're right. There are inequities, and it's not only wrong morally. it's also a real problem for everyone because no one is safe until everyone is safe. And we've just seen that again with the emergence of the Omicron variant. And what happens is, if the virus continues to be alive somewhere, it may start to mutate into new variants, and then those variants could come back and bite even countries that have been fully vaccinated if the new variants defeat the vaccine. So we have a strong interest in this. The United States has committed to donate between now and the rest of next year 1.2 billion doses of safe and effective vaccines around the world.
Tensi konflik di Laut Cina Selatan juga tak luput dari bahasan Indonesia dan Amerika Serikat. Kawasan Indo-Pasifik yang terbuka jadi sudut pandang yang ditekankan Amerika Serikat.
Mr. Secretary, regarding to the tensions in the South China Sea, what are the key concerns from the U.S. and how could Indonesia and the U.S. commit to do on this issue?
Well, you know, we talk about a free and open Indo-Pacific, but what does that mean? It means that for individuals, they are free to shape their own destinies, to make their voices heard, to live in free and open societies. For countries, it means the freedom to choose their own path and to choose their own partners. And regionally, it means a region where countries are, and the relationship between them is defined by collaboration and cooperation, not coercion. And so that's the kind of Indo-Pacific that I think not only do we want to see, but people throughout the region want to see, including in Indonesia.
Setidaknya 4 topik besar menjadi buah tangan lawatan Menteri Luar Negeri Amerika Serikat kali ini. Mulai dari memperkuat kemitraan strategis AS Indonesia, visi yang sama akan kawasan Indo-Pasifik yang bebas dan terbuka, meningkatkan hubungan bilateral dan investasi untuk mendorong pertumbuhan ekonomi, dan komitmen bersama untuk mempererat hubungan antar masyarakat. Politik luar negeri Indonesia tetap bebas aktif, berpendirian tanpa memihak pada kekuatan besar tertentu manapun. Membangun komunikasi dan kemitraan strategis dengan sejumlah pihak selalu menjadi opsi dalam diplomasi. Salah satunya dengan negeri Paman Sam, Amerika Serikat, sebagai pemegang investasi hingga 4,8 juta dolar Amerika Serikat atau investor kedua terbesar di Indonesia. Friska Clarissa, Roy Ilman, Abdul Rajiz Subandi, Kompas TV, Jakarta.